Are you ready for some football? Time to Primetime pregame with Big Sarge.
Big Sarge. Yes, sir.
Hey, give me a second. There we go. What's going on, y'all? Where we at? Sorry, where we at? Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Shout out to my TikTok family. We live, y'all. We live. Make sure you're subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel, all one word, Texas Tailgate Talk. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. What's going on, y'all? Just wanted to hop in here real quick and talk to y'all before. Are you ready for some football? It's Monday Night Football here in the city of Houston, Texas. And you know what that means, right? This is the first ever. This is the Cutwater. I ain't doing no Cutwater. No. I ain't on no Cutwater. This is the first time the Houston Texans will be opening their season at home on Monday Night Football. This is their first ever Monday Night Football game for their season opener as they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I ain't gonna even lie, I'm ready for some football, especially after watching football yesterday. So Sunday football wasn't bad, but it wasn't all that great either. So like I didn't like the way that the Indianapolis Colts versus the Denver Broncos game ended. I didn't like the way the Dallas Cowboys game ended, although that was my kicker. Who my fantasy football kicker who got me a bunch of points. So I definitely appreciate that. Kept me in the game. Now all I need is for Nick Caley and CJ Stroud to play catch with Nico tonight, so I can go ahead and get and win in my fantasy football league. Put me up 2-0. But it just the Sunday night game wasn't good to me. The Eagles and the Chiefs was a dud to me. Like I didn't really see any good football on Sunday, so I'm hoping that I'm hoping that the Houston Texans can provide some good football tonight as they take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think it's going to be one of those games where we know what the Houston Texans can. We know what the Houston Texans can do on defense. We know that they can establish themselves. We know they can establish themselves on defense. Hell, we seen what they did last week to the Los Angeles Rams, only giving up 14 points, but the offense did score nothing but 9 points. And then you turn around and you look at the Rams versus the Titans on Sunday, and Rams scored 33 points. 33 points. And so you know what you have in the defense. With Ed Ingram coming back, you know that he missed the season opener against the Rams with the abdominal strain. So they should put him back at the right guard position. You know that I'm as soon as I get off of here, that's why I'm already dressed. I'm game ready. Y'all like my fit, man? Let me know if y'all like my fit. I'm a huge Muhammad Ali fan, y'all. That's why it has the GOAT. Plus, I am the GOAT when it comes to this type of stuff. So yeah, that's why I got that on. But as soon as I finish with this show, I'll be headed to NRG Stadium, and I will let you all know as soon as we find out if Ed Ingram will be inserted back into the offensive lineup. And if that happens, then that means that you're probably going to see Titus Howard at the right tackle. You're going to see Ed Ingram at right guard. Jared Patterson is going to have to start for injured Jake Andrews. And then you're going to have Laken Tomlinson at left guard. And I think that you may see Cam Robinson. I think you may see Cam Robinson on the bench. I think you may see Cam Robinson on the bench and Ariante Ursery get the start, because you all remember the show that we had. I said that I think that the Texans panicked, and I think that with Ed Ingram coming back this week, they may be able to put him into a certain position of comfortability, not only for that offensive line and the way that it's constructed, but for CJ Stroud as well, because that offensive line unit just protected him. You know, that lineup I just mentioned, that lineup protected him very, very, very well. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Now, one of the toughest matchups is going to be, and you know, so here's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think that going up against Mike Evans is going to be tough for Derek Stingley Jr. And that's going to be a good matchup, because if Derek Stingley continues on the trajectory that he's on, he's going to definitely make it to the NFL Hall of Fame. And you know, Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans has already put in enough work in order to put himself on that road. Now we can argue. Do you think that Mike Evans is a first ballot Hall of Famer? I don't think he's first ballot, because when I think of first ballot, I start to think of, as far as wide receivers are concerned, I start thinking about the Jerry Rices and the Terrell Owens and the Randy Mosses and the Larry Fitzgeralds. I think about those players when I start thinking about first ballot NFL Hall of Famers as far as the wide receiver position is concerned. But other than that, I don't know. He will get in though. And so a lot of people think that he is that the matchup between Mike Evans and Derek Stingley Jr. is going to be what you want to watch when Tampa Bay is on offense and Houston's on defense. That's you know what? Hold on. I can't read. I can't read the name on because I gotta look. I ain't gonna lie. I'm blending into the background over on TikTok. He says he's got a ring. He's a first ballot guy. Does a ring make you a first ballot guy? Because if a ring makes you a first ballot guy, then Eli got two. Eli first ballot? Eli Manning first? I don't think that he. So it depends on who else. It depends on when Mike Evans retires and who else is going in with him. If it goes in, if he goes in with a weak class, then I could see it. But if he goes in with a class that's got a strong resume, he may not make it the first time around, but he may make it the second time around. But then again, Mike Evans is a really good media guy, and the media loves Mike Evans. And so he was really good with them when he was going through, you know, potentially leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he may be. It could be. I don't know. Like I said, when I look at his stats, and when I look at his stats, I'm just saying I don't know if I could put him up there with that first ballot group. Yeah. Somebody say, yeah, beat the GOAT twice. Yeah, but didn't Eli Manning end with the 500 record? Ain't Eli Manning like 165 and 165 or something like that? Like, I think he finished his career. I think Eli Manning finished his career as a 500 quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong. It ain't easy. Like, he beat one of them New England Patriots teams. He beat one of them New England Patriots teams that was undefeated. I remember that. And he did take two from Tom Brady. So anyway, I digress. The matchup that you want to watch on Monday night is actually going to be between the rookie wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka from Tampa Bay, and Kamari Lassiter / hear me out. Kamari Lassiter / Jalen Petrie. And the reason why if I tell the reason why I'm adding Jalen Petrie along with Kamari is because last week against the Atlanta Falcons, they put Ibuke in the slot. Forgot the actual percentage, but he took a lot of snaps from the slot. And if the Bucks were watching the game from last week, they know that one of the weaknesses is at the slot corner position for the Houston Texans right now. Now, I will say this. Like, I don't think that Jalen Petrie is the strongest cover corner the strongest slot corner in the NFL. Where we're not, I'm not. I think he fits very, very well. I think he fits very, very well in the Texans defensive scheme, because one of the main things that D'Amico likes to do is he likes to stop the run. So as long as he can stop the run, then that's what he likes. And so having Jalen Petrie that close to the line helps the linebacker stop the run. Sometimes it's like, even when you just have Azeez Al-Shaair and Henry To'oTo'o in the game, and you got you got Jalen in there, it's almost like having an extra linebacker. Even, Bob, even when they don't have him on the line, but you can have him on the line to blitz. Where he gets caught up at is when it's time to cover, and especially covering those wide receivers who can play inside and outside. And so we seen what happened last week against Puka Nacua, who is, hey, look, he's hard enough to guard in general, no matter where he is. But so that's what I want to see tonight, because I know that they're going to try to take advantage of that. Either that, or they're going to try to find a way to get one of those wide receivers matched up with CJ Gardner-Johnson. And that's where I feel like another mismatch is, as far as pass coverage is concerned. The front seven can pretty much hold their own, but when you start getting into coverage on that back end, and if that line doesn't get pressure, I felt like if the Texans would have been able, like, they put pressure on Matt Stafford, but if they'd have been able to put just a little bit more pressure on him last week, that may have been able to help them. But that's going to be one of my keys to victory, is how they adjust to holding Emeka Egbuka on Monday night. I know that Kamari is more than well and capable of holding him. And now here's the funny thing, right? Here's the funny thing. Listen to what I'm about to say. If it gets bad, I could also see a scenario where they move Kamari to the slot and put rookie Jalen Smith on the outside. Leave them vulnerable on the outside, having that rookie play the outside. But if you shade Kalen Bullock over the top to give Jalen Smith some help, that might be a suggestion. That may be a recommendation that, hey, if Jalen Petrie is not providing what the Houston Texans need as far as coverage is concerned, then I think that you move Kamari into the slot, see what he has. And because, throughout training camp, I mean, I seen some lineups where that happened. And so you move Jalen Smith out to the outside, and you give him some over the top help, because you know that a quarterback like Baker Mayfield, as soon as he sees that, he's going to try to find a way to exploit it. So you're going to have to give him some help. But at some point, if it gets too bad, you're going to have to find a way to stop the bleeding as far as that coverage is concerned. Now, that's on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not too worried about the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, just that as far as what the Houston Texans will have to face if they try to run a lot of a lot of the rookie out of the slot. On the offensive side of the ball, we talked about what could potentially be the difference, what could potentially be the lineup change as far as having Ed Ingram back into the lineup. He's a full go. What I need to see, though, what I need to see, I ain't got nothing to drink. Let me get some water here, y'all. EJ, that ain't his problem, but that's something we're gonna talk about later. Let me timestamp this. 15:33 Monday. That ain't the issue, but we'll talk about that at another time. So, on the offensive side of the ball, I just want I just want to see them air the ball out. I don't care if CJ overthrows Jaden Higgins. I don't care if he overthrows Nico Collins. I don't care. I want to see shots down the field. And I know that that's going to come with protection. I know that CJ is going to definitely need more protection, but I want to see more shots down the field on tonight, more than I've seen against the Rams. And it's crazy because the Rams secondary is okay. They're not great where they could have been exploited because they don't have a good pass defense. The problem was CJ didn't have enough time. So if you can give him just a little bit of time, I would love to see him just take some shots. I just love to see them take some shots down the field. That's all. Just take some shots down the field. Just throw the ball down the field. Just go back to let Nico be big. Let Xavier Hutchinson be big. Let him work the middle of the field. Let Jaden Higgins work the middle of. Let Jaden Higgins be big, and he learned. One of the things that I will tell you is on that catch against the Los Angeles Rams that turned into an interception. He knows. And when you look at the catch, we've looked at the catch multiple times. It was almost like you trying to protect the ball, but you're also trying to protect, hitting the ground because he had both hands on the ball. And if he's trying to bring it to his body so he can grab the ball but absorb the hit that he's about to make. And the defensive back just did a great job of putting his hands through, knowing that he has to bring the ball to his body. But he knows that, he said, next time I'll try to, adjust to that. It's just something that I have to learn to get used to and move on. So, but that's what I want to see. I want to see them throw the ball down the field. And if the offensive line gives CJ just some time, let him get into a rhythm. I have not seen CJ in a rhythm in a very long time. Like, I haven't seen him in rhythm for a very long time because we've been watching football for a very long time. Y'all already know we've been I want to see Blake Fisher in the stands and nowhere near the field. We've been watching football a very, very, very long time. And we know that the signs of a good quarterback is when they're in rhythm. When in the game, when they're in rhythm, when they can get a couple of completions, when they're starting to feel comfortable, you can tell, all right, they ready to go. And that's what I want to see. I want to see CJ get into a rhythm because, he doesn't like it that they're not scoring touchdowns on the offensive side of the ball. That's not where he wants to be. He doesn't want to settle for field goals. He doesn't mind taking the points, but he want to score. And he doesn't want to score just because he wants to shine or he wants the limelight. He wants to score because he knows that means that the offense executed. But if they don't execute and they don't score, now you're still looking at a lethargic offense. And I said this once, I said this twice, 3 times a lady. Let me timestamp this. 1920 Monday Night Football. Let me timestamp this. Kaylee. He doesn't have room for excuses. There's no room for leeway when it comes to him being a first-time play caller because Bobby took all of them. Bobby has taken everything that Texans fans would want to hear about a first-time play caller. And then if you're looking at if he doesn't get this offense rolling, if he can't be effective, now you're starting to question D'Amico. Now you're starting to question Nick Caserio. And why are you hiring another first-time offensive play caller? Why aren't you hiring someone with experience? Why aren't you hiring someone who knows what they're doing? Why aren't you hiring someone who will help CJ go to the next level? Of course, there's not a lot of Ben Johnsons walking around out here as far as calling offensive plays. There aren't a lot of Kevin O'Connells. There aren't a lot of Sean McVay's. Like, there aren't a lot of experienced offensive play callers. But by the same token, you can't afford to waste another year for CJ. You can't waste another year for CJ. And we know that he has all the tools. We know he has all the intangibles. We know what he can do. We know how he can play. We know who he is as a player. We've seen what he can do with a fully, with a fully competent, not competent. That's the wrong choice of words, y'all. We've seen what he can do is when his team is fully healthy and when he has all his personnel. And like I said, once again, that's not an excuse, because you got to adjust. Football is a game of adjustments. And so you got to be able to adjust, but you want to see CJ, and CJ can, take that next step. When we're looking at a quarterback like CJ Stroud, come year 4, we should be seeing him in that conversation of, okay, so when will it be that he can lead them to a Super Bowl, right? Going into year 4, you should be able to have seen all the intangibles. Like, coming out of this year, you would really want to see CJ get to an AFC championship game. And the Houston Texans don't even have to win the game, but you would want to see him get to the AFC championship game, knowing that you're going to have to invest a large amount of money into him, but to also take that next step. Because if you can keep Nico and CJ together as a tandem moving forward, you could be successful. That's just Big Sarge's opinion and Big Sarge's alone. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on this show is Big Sarge's and Big Sarge's alone, period. Unless I read comments out of the chat. But you want to keep Nico and CJ together. If you can insert a running back like Woody Marks and have a running back like Jawar Jordan backing him up, I think that you take that next step. Cade Stover is going to be good. I think that they should give Brevin Jordan another chance. So I'm saying all this. Oh, you got to definitely invest in your offensive line too, because you can't patchwork that offensive line anymore. So as I digress, I said all those things to get back to what I was originally talking about, as we're right here, primetime pre-gaming Monday Night Football on the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. No matter what, starting in week 2, this is where Nick Caley needs to take chances. This is where Nick Caley needs to put the ball in CJ Stroud's hand and say, hey man, look, sometimes call your own play. Don't wait for me to give you the play. Sometimes go by your feelings. See, that's why I probably could never be an offensive coordinator in the NFL, because at some point, if I know that I have a quarterback like a CJ Stroud, like a Lamar Jackson, like a Patrick Mahomes or something like that, I'm looking and I'm saying, well, I'm about to piss some of y'all. You know what? Don't do it, Sarge. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait. I was about to piss some of y'all off, but I ain't going to piss you off before the game, because I want you to enjoy the game, and I want you to enjoy the game to the fullest. I ain't going to piss you off. I'm not. I want you to enjoy the game. That's it. Just enjoy the game. What was I talking about? Oh, because this take right here, this take will blow the chat up. This take right here will blow the chat up. It'll go viral. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Just know, y'all know, When I got it written down right here. It is written on this piece of paper. Don't do it, Sarge. It's a great time. Let these people enjoy their Monday night football, man. Let these people enjoy their team. Let these people enjoy, you know, having football here in Houston on a Monday night prime time where everybody's going to watch the game. Yeah. Just know I got it though. I got it right here. It's hot too. It's a smoker. This is one in the chamber. This is one in the chamber. And I'm talking about figuratively, not literally. Figuratively, I got one in the chamber right now. So, with that being said, I would like to see Nick Caley. Oh, what I was saying was I couldn't be an offensive coordinator. I couldn't be an offensive coordinator because I'm like, hey, man, so what are you seeing out there? You know what? On this next series, I'm gonna watch and see what I'm seeing, and you tell me what you see, and you run your own plays. You run the plays according to your feeling. Now, I would do that early in the game because not only is that going to build trust with your quarterback, but that's building trust with your offense, letting your offense know, hey, we have full trust in our quarterback. And I feel like sometimes you can see it when CJ gets into that 2-minute offense. When CJ gets into that 2-minute offense and he can just go, you can see how it works. You can see how it works. You can see it, the wheels turning, the wheels clicking. Hey, look, I'm playing strictly off of instinct. And I think that sometimes some of these offensive coordinators forget that when you have a good quarterback, your quarterback is playing off of instincts, something that he's done since Pee-wee football, middle school football, high school football, college football, and got them into a starting position in the NFL. So what I want Nick Caley to do is I want Nick Caley to be able to give CJ Stroud that time to do what he needs to do and say, hey, look, and don't get me wrong, CJ has way more responsibilities in that offense now than he ever had. And you can see that in week 1. He has way more responsibilities in that offense right now than he did with Bobby. And so I'm not saying that Nick Caley doesn't allow him to have control. What I'm saying is, hey, man, sometimes, and I know this ain't Madden. This is real life football. I get it. But sometimes you got to think outside the box. Sometimes you got to be a little unorthodox. Sometimes you got to go against the grain. Sometimes you got to go out and Sarge, let these people enjoy. Fuck it. Hand over heart. Forgive me for the profanity. F it, man. Just F it. I don't have anything against Nick Caley. I'm just not getting to know him. I'm just not getting to know, Nick Caley. I've seen his offense in real time for the first time last week. But I wonder what this offense would look like. I wonder what this offense would look like if Eric Bieniemy was the offensive coordinator. Now, I get it. You're saying to yourself, well, according to all these reports, Eric Bieniemy didn't call the plays in Kansas City. Andy Reid really called the plays, and Andy Reid has debunked that on so many occasions. Andy Reid has debunked that that Eric Bieniemy didn't call the plays. Now they worked in unison, just like a lot of you all don't believe that Matt Burke calls plays, and Matt Burke does call plays. D'Amico doesn't just call the entire offense; they work hand in hand. They go hand in hand. They work together. So when Eric Bieniemy was in when Eric Bieniemy was at when he was in Kansas City, there was a lot of times, and even the players have come out and said it. Was that the Magic Johnson no look? Nope, it wasn't. But a lot of the players even came out and said, "Hey, Eric Bieniemy was a good offensive coordinator. We may not have liked his personality sometimes, and I get it. Eric Bieniemy is an old school guy, and he probably could have used a little bit better language when it came to his interview when he did have one with the Texans. But he knows football. He's been around winning football. He knows what it takes to play winning football. So, with that being said, for the same amount of things that some people are giving Nick Caley because he was around Josh McDaniels, that was the offense coordinator in New England, right? Because he was around McDaniels and because he did spend time around Sean McVay when he was with the Rams, you're looking and you're saying, okay, so he come in here, he could bring a little bit of this, bring a little bit of that. So was not Eric Bieniemy around one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL? We talked about first ballot Hall of Fame. If there could be a something better than the first ballot, I wish that they could give. I wish that they didn't have to wait. Was it 5 years after they retire before they become eligible for the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Because I think didn't LeBron, who's still playing, just get inducted into the Naismith basketball, James Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame? Like, they should put the gold jacket on Patrick Mahomes right now. Like, Patrick Mahomes should get his jacket right now. I think that Aaron Rodgers should get his jacket right now. Like, there's some players that are playing right now, they should just go ahead and get their jacket. And Patrick Mahomes should just go ahead and get his jacket. So with that being said, are you telling me that nothing that Andy Reid learned when he was at Kansas City would have been able to help this Houston Texans offense? I got a timestamp. Let's just go 28 minutes. Queena, they ain't gonna like me for that one. They're not gonna like me for that one, Queena. I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying. Because there's no guarantee. You would hope that it does, but there's no guarantee that Nick Caley is going to pan out. And he could have a 2-year window like Bobby Slowick did. And now, so are you going to put CJ? Are you going to put CJ in a new offensive system going into year 5? You're going to put him in a third offensive system going into year 5? And I'm not saying make sure, hey, is this thing on? Hello. I'm not saying Nick Caley won't work out. I'm just saying that if it doesn't, how many more first-year offensive coordinators can you hire before you start looking at D'Amico and saying, hey, man, you're going to have to get you some type of experience up in here. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, Sarge. That's cool. Hey, look. I just made a suggestion. That's all. I just made a suggestion. Sarge, are you comparing CJ to Patrick Mahomes? I'm saying that CJ can be. Patrick Mahomes wasn't always Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes wasn't always Patrick Mahomes. I know that because I remember when the Kansas City Chiefs came to play here, and I think it was that year that J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless got hurt in the same drive. Both of them had season-ending injuries in the same drive. Patrick Mahomes was the backup. Y'all know, in the locker room, like, I talked to Patrick Mahomes, like, there wasn't nobody really. It was like 2 or 3 people around. And I was just asking, hey, man, you got a lot of family? You know, you from Texas. You got a lot of family that came here? He's like, yeah, it was a couple of my a couple of my relatives and friends did drive down to watch me play. He said, and there's a huge Texas Tech alumni base out of Houston, so they came to see just in case I did get an opportunity to play. But he wasn't the starter. So, as I digress, I'm not saying that the Houston Texans should have hired Eric Bieniemy over Nick Caley. Let me say that once again. I'm not saying that they should have hired Eric Bieniemy. What I'm saying is there's no more room for a first-year play caller. I use Eric Bieniemy as an example of they're going to have to find an experienced offensive coordinator if Nick Caley doesn't work out. I think that Nick Caley can work out because he is a football guy. He has coached a position. He knows what it takes. He's been around winning organizations his entire career. So we'll see. Getting back to the game, I got to get ready to get up out of here, y'all. So I'm going to give my prediction. I think for the first time in a long time, you may see this offense finally start to click because what they're realizing, what Nick Caley, and you can hear it in his tone at his press conference last week. What he realized is I have a superstar quarterback and I have a superstar wide receiver. I did not feed my superstar wide receiver. We're not going to force the ball to Nico, but you better damn well make sure that we're going to get him touches. He's going to get his fair amount of touches on Monday night. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that I can see the Houston Texans offense finally getting on track. Something that they're definitely going to need, something that they can use as far as momentum is concerned. Because if they can get going tonight and then they go into they go into Jacksonville next week, and as they can get a win there, and start to pick up some of the momentum that they have, and then maybe either get Berrios or Christian Kirk back here soon to help relieve some of that pressure off that offensive line because of those players being in the slot and helping CJ get the ball out of his hands quickly. You can see a little something that might be just a little bit different. But I got to get up out of here, y'all. I got to get up out of here. Wait, Queen said CJ Stroud is CJ Stroud. He can be better than any of them. He can. Yes, Queenie, you're right. He can, but I mean, right now, the creme de la creme of the league, when you're looking at those quarterbacks, you're hoping that CJ takes that step to get to where they are. Those quarterbacks that when they step onto the field, you already know that your chance. I put it like this: there isn't a game that I watch, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was not the biggest Josh Allen fan. Like, there was somebody that broke down Josh Allen all the way back from his play, all the way back from middle school to high school to college. And when you look at that sample size, him heading into the NFL, it looks like this guy ain't gonna pan out. Like, y'all gonna take him high, and what is he gonna end up being? You're gonna take him this high, and what is he gonna end up being? And so I wasn't on the Josh Allen train. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not one of them ones that will who backtracks off his takes. I stand 10 toes down on what I say. I didn't believe that Josh Allen would be the Josh Allen he is today, but I damn sure believe that when I watch the Buffalo Bills take the field, I think that they're going to win every game because of him. Because of Josh Allen, I feel like the Buffalo Bills are going to win. No matter what. As long as they got him on the field, they're going to win. I used to feel that way about Aaron Rodgers. No matter what people think about him personally, or his political views, his mindset, his narcissistic tendencies. Hey, when I looked at Aaron Rodgers stepping onto the field, I believe that he could win every game. Patrick Mahomes, I feel like they can win every time he takes the field. Lamar Jackson, when he takes the field, I'm saying to myself, Baltimore has a great chance to win just because he is on the field. I believe that what the Houston Texans have in CJ Stroud is the exact same thing. Now, because it's only been a small sample size, and I really don't evaluate quarterbacks till after year 3. I don't really evaluate quarterbacks till after year 3. But it's a little bit different for me being here and covering the Houston Texans than covering the Los Angeles Chargers or covering the Green Bay Packers or covering the Atlanta Falcons or covering the New York Jets or covering the Miami Dolphins or whatever the case may be. Because I have been blessed with the opportunity to cover the Houston Texans, and I see CJ's impact not only on the field but off the field, it's going in that same trajectory as those quarterbacks that I mentioned earlier. All you need now is the offense to match CJ. That's the only issue that the Houston Texans have. That's the only block that's in front of the Houston Texans right now, is that the offense and CJ Stroud are not matching up. Once they match up, and I'm going to say this, and some of you all could take it with a grain of salt or whatever the case may be. CJ's here. The offense needs to come here. CJ doesn't need to come here. CJ is here. The offense needs to come here. And once the offense gets here, they're going to be one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL because they have a defense that's top 5, maybe top 3. I will say, I think they got a top 3 defense. And just depending on what week it is, 3 may not be the number. So, and I get it. I see you conditionally accepted. You said CJ and other players. True. Yes, CJ and other players. But I'm just talking about the quarterback position right now. I'm just talking about CJ as a whole, him and the way that he is a franchise quarterback. He is. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get up out of here because, oh, yeah, it's almost 3:30. I got to head over because it's going to get packed tonight. Hey, look, if you're heading out to the game, I'm going to try to see everybody that I can. It gets tough. I'm going to be honest with you. It gets tough because I'm working and I'm putting together all this content and making sure that everything is ready for not only for me watching the game, but the post game too. And so ask CJ for me, Sarge, why he no longer gives honor to God like he used to at the beginning of interviews. Let's circle back to that, EJ. Hey, TikTok family, I'm out. I'll see y'all a little bit later on. Oh, wait, hold on. TikTok family, y'all know I got something special for y'all post game. So have y'all asses right back here after the game is over. I don't care what time it is. Have your butts right here ready for this live, because just like I did last week in Los Angeles, you will be getting a show immediately after the game. It's from a TikTok family. If you ain't following me on TikTok at Big Sarge Media, appreciate y'all. Oh, look at that. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get up out of here. I apologize for not being able to read all of the comments. I have been watching, I have been looking, I have been seeing some of the comments. Hold on. Let me see what happened. Hold on. Garner G Texas fan says, sorry, that old line is straight trash, but it's being rebuilt. Nick look like Bobby Jr. out here. We know CJ, your boy, but Sarge, I'm starting to question. What you starting to question, gamer? me ask you that. I'll answer that real quick. What are you starting to question about CJ? Because I thought he played a hell of a game last week under the circumstances in which he was in, excuse me. JJ Sugar. Ooh, Eric B again. At least he experienced it being OC. The thing that worries me about Nick is he's going to have learning and growing pains like last week. Yep. That's the thing. That's the thing. It is. You got another first year offensive coordinator, and you can't give. Bobby used all the excuses. They praised dancing. Kaylee got me heated last week, not finding more ways to get a ball to Nico. We see that again tonight. I'm going to lose it. King Kobe, what's that? Well, there's also that narrative too. So what narrative? DQ said, yikes. Big name create expectations. Hey man, so do first year play callers. What that mean, EJ? Not everyone is entitled to their opinion. Sorry, that's cool. Not everyone is entitled. What that mean though? Sorry, I said I'm reading the terms and conditions. Wasn't D'Amico a first year coordinator at one time? He surely was, but he learned under Robert Saleh. And here's the thing, Queena. Here's the difference. When D'Amico left San Francisco, he went to become a head coach. His first year of being a defensive coordinator was with the same players that he had been around on that defensive side of the ball for a long time. And they pretty much ran the same defensive scheme that Robert Saleh. So all it was insert D'Amico here. He knows what he's doing. He's already been here. He's gotten acclimated to being here. It wasn't no change for him. Now, if D'Amico would have left San Francisco and let's just say went to Carolina, then there would have been a difference. There would have been, then you could say, call him a first time. Then we could equate him going there. If he'd have went to Carolina, him going there, we could equate that to what Bobby Slowick was in Houston and what Nick Caley is now. Yep, that's what Alex Smith. Yep. Exactly why I can't stand the Chiefs. People act like Mahomes been that. Right, H-Town Tony. He wasn't. He had it in him, but they had to bring it out of him and they had to put him in position. Rich boy selling that by the Cadillac. Throw some on it. That's my first and only Texans game that I went to, and it was not a good time. Yeah, that was not a good time. No more room for experiment over experience. I appreciate that, Queena. Let me see what y'all got. When the old going match the D because we giving CJ passes, when will we stop giving CJ passes? I don't think we're giving CJ passes though. Depends on who you're talking about, Gamer G. Who's giving him these passes? I've told this story on numerous occasions. His mama got mad at me because of honest assessment. I don't give CJ a pass. When CJ don't play right, I say when CJ don't play. When CJ don't do something right, I say that CJ doesn't do something right. But the problem also entails that I put it like this. The best and the worst thing that I feel like the NFL did was the best thing was it gave fans access to be able to watch the games like coaches. The worst thing that the NFL did was give access to fans who can see film like coaches. Okay, hold on. Let me say that again. Let me say that for the people in the back. All right, 49-27. One of the best things that the NFL did for the fans and for the fan experience is give them access to all 22, to give them access to be able to watch games like coaches do. One of the worst things that the NFL could have done for its players, for its coaches, and for its organization is to give fans access to be able to watch plays like coaches. Because you go back and you nitpick every play, right? You nitpick every play. We nitpick every play. And not we. Not we. A lot of the times, though, we play Monday morning quarterback and we go back and we watch. But it's different. It's different when you're doing it in real time at a professional level. Because what a lot of you all, and I'm not talking about you, Gamer G. I'm not talking about you. But what a lot of fans who criticize their teams is due to the fact of they go back and they'll watch the film. And you're saying, well, why didn't they throw it right here? Because he was open. Or why didn't they run it right here? Because he was open. Remember last week when we broke down the play for that last play where the Rams got that first down when Puka Nacua got matched up on Jalen Petrie, and you said we went back and we looked, and then I think it was Larry and I forgot. Oh, it was Miles and that Cognac say, "Hey, why didn't he pass him off to Derek? And why didn't Derek pass off Devontae Adams to Bullock? And then why didn't Petrie just stay there and cover the tight end?" And I'm like, yeah, I mean, when we're playing Monday morning quarterback, we can look at those type of stuff. But the one thing that I do like is I have the access to be able to talk to the players and find out exactly what was going on. There was a lot going on in that play. And from talking to multiple players on the defensive side of the ball, the first thing they did was say they ran a great play. Let's not take that away from them. They ran a great play. A lot of them said, I've seen a wide receiver go between the tight end and a tackle. I've never seen a wide receiver go between a guard and a tackle. They ran that play earlier in the game, but they ran it to the other side. And so we didn't get a really good look at what was actually going on that play. We seen it, but I think that they were able to stop it. And I don't know, they didn't run it to perfection. And I'm talking about the Rams. So on that play, there's a lot going on that play. And a lot of defensive players who were in the game said they just ran a good play. And you're not going to win on every play. Like we get beat sometimes too. They said that was a good play. And there's keys that we're watching on plays. And we're all following our keys. They just ran a better play, which happens. But when you go back and you look at these plays and you're saying to yourself, well, why didn't they do this or why didn't they do that? It's easy for us to go back and say, why didn't they? Why didn't they? I've asked that question. Hey, man, I wonder if, but then I'll go back and ask, hey, on that play, such and such and such and such, did you? So, yes, some people are referring to last week. I think CJ made a pass to the right side. And they said, but Nico was wide open. Yeah, but when you're in the heat of the moment like that and you don't know what the play is called, and that's another thing. You got to know what the play is called. So, all right, y'all, I got to get ready to get up out of here. Let me see. We can follow up in this conversation again because you need to get to the park. There are a lot more questions for sure. Yeah, I got to get up out of here, y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all joining me here for this primetime pre-gaming. I like my outfit, y'all. Look, this outfit is fire. It's fire. It's Monday night worthy. You've been tuned to the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with Z at the end. Follow me on the tick and the talk at Big Sarge Media. Full stop. Side note, you might want to follow me today. if you want the immediate post-game reaction. Now, if not, you can go to YouTube, go to Texas Tailgate Talk, all one word, Texas Tailgate Talk on YouTube. See, notice how I tell you all how to get in instead of just saying, go to my YouTube page. Do I want the subscribers to go up? Of course, because once I reach 1,000, I got something I'm trying to do, y'all. I'm trying to get to 1,000 because I got something I got to do to benefit people. It's neither here nor there. Make sure you're subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel, all one word, Texas Tailgate Talk. Make sure you're follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end, because you know we do everything for the gram. They say, man, that traffic gonna beat you up. So now I got a back way. I know how to. I got a little, another little way I can get in and get out. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm leaving early enough. In prime time, boy. So we coming. Pat, and I hope to see you at the game, man. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, Pat. That's all I'm gonna say. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Big Sarge.